Fishing with my son for halibut this weekend, and I noticed that both of us got strikes that didn't land all the way. So I've just been chewing on it and chewing on it and chewing on it, and so I've thought of a few things that might help actually. So one, he was using my Tribala, which is a pretty stiff rod. It's great, but it doesn't have a lot of action. I was using a much lighter rod. This is it's a Daiwa Harrier, and it's got a lot of give. So I did end up landing a halibut where my son didn't, and I think that small little tug was enough play that the halibut could actually take the bait deep in its mouth and got hooked. Where I think the stiffer rod, it just ripped out of its mouth. And we were fishing this setup right here. So a little halibut spread, 12-ounce ball. Everything was set up really well. We were using live jack smelt and fishing on your typical treble with the bait hook up top. And I mean, everything was really nice about this setup. But here's the problem. I think the halibut come, they bite, and also with their weird mouths, if they feel a little tension or you know they've got something to pull against, they can break free. So I put on the thread about circle hooks and started reading about it online, and that seems to be a pretty good solution, because circle hooks, as you know, when something bites, is as it's pulling away that it gets hooked. But the key is it needs to be able to pull away. And so there was some objection to that on an earlier post, because oh yeah, circle hooks aren't going to do the job. And I understand why, but here's what I figured out. And maybe it's never been done. If it hasn't been done before, we can just call it the Cal rig as a nod to where I live. But I've got a smaller spreader bar. I tied these are really interesting. They're called easy sinker slides. And here's how I'm rigging this up. So back to the lighter rod. So it's got give. Incidentally, this is how I have my rod set up all the time, because I trout fish as well. You can hang a little weight off the bottom, and you can get some depth. And I use this kind of rubbery bead so that it can come all the way up to the top of the rod and not break the tip, right? So that's a nice little tip. So you always have a setup that you can add a weight for a Carolina type rig. So these little teeny sliders are awesome, and they just live on my rod. But here's the deal. So with this setup, I'm going to put my rod back up here. I tie on I clip on the rig with the two. Incidentally, this is a number 4 and this is a number 1 circle offset circle hook to even increase the probability of a nibble from a sideways mouthed animal getting hooked. Okay, so there's that. And then all I got to do is take my little rig, and these are really cool. They just clip on. Boom, boom. That's one. And then here's the other side. Bam. It all slides on the rod just like a regular halibut rig. You see, and put it on the ground or here. So it just slides like a regular halibut rig. But the idea is when it bites, you can quickly just drop the line and let that halibut eat. Just let it eat. Or if you've got enough play on your rod, it's going to take it, slow down. There's a number of things you can do, but I'm thinking even open the bail really quick. Just pop and let it take off. And as soon as you set the bail, or this is the other thing you can do, is leave the drag really loose, really light drag. So as it's cruising along, when something bites, it can just zip, pull line away with it. And you can even pop the bail open, but the weight will stay right there, and the halibut will take off with the bait until it has it nice and good in its gut. And since it's a circle hook, as soon as you set the drag or pull tension on it, bam, you're gonna set it, and well and deep, which I think the treble is limiting. The treble hooks are limiting, and also the resistance of the weight and everything else when they bite. So I'm calling this a NorCal rig. Again, if it's never been done, man, I can't wait to try this. I think it's going to be a game changer, especially with soft or live bait like jack smelt or even little teeny anchovies. I have a feeling they're going to hang on a lot better in this kind of a rig than your traditional halibut rig. So there it is. That's my setup, the NorCal halibut rig. All right.